Hey everybody, how's it going? Bill here from the NerdNest. I hope you're having an awesome day. To the people who are here before I even started streaming, thank you. You guys are fantastic. Today, my goal is to take a look at the updated version of this controller right here. Actually, why am I doing it like that? Let me do it like this. This controller right here. This is the, you know what? I think I need to zoom in. There we go. So this is the Alpakka controller. It is a very strange controller that was sent to me, I'm going to say 2 years ago at this point. And it is basically a 3D printed controller that has a lot of really cool parts to it. And those parts are double gyro, which I will talk about in a little bit. They reached out and they sent me the updated version of the controller, which is this one. And you might look at it and be like, well, that looks exactly the same, Bill. Well, it's not. And there's a couple of things that are different. So first off, I don't want to rehash everything that's going on with this controller. Because I have an entire video about this controller, so I'm not going to rehash everything that's going on with this controller in this live stream. But they did a few things that I think are huge improvements over the original, but I still think that they have some work left to do, and that's what we're talking about on this stream today. All right. Before I actually get started, and some of that I'm probably going to repeat later on in the video or in the stream, I'm curious, how does everything look? How does everything sound? I have not been doing live streaming lately, so my confidence level with, you know, how well things are going to look and sound when I do a live stream, fairly low these days. Especially since the last time that I tried to do a live stream, everything fell apart, or at least maybe that was 2 times ago. Hey there, Truth, Jesus, Bombus, Daniel, Michael. How's it going, everybody? Let me know. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you see me okay? Can you hear the music in the background? Is the music too loud? Is the music too quiet? Good to go? All right. All right. Awesome. Let me just look. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to use this from now on for music. It's fantastic. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the at the original, and then I'll take a look at the new version. So that you guys can see what is the big differences between the two. So let's get my 2cam up. And if we take a look at this, you can see we've got a D-pad over here. It is literally 4 different buttons because, you know what? I am going to rehash what's in that original video. And the reason why I'm going to rehash it is because I know a little bit more now than I knew before. The second reason why I'm going to rehash it is because I can edit this down into a video later on if I want to. And I can cut out the part where I'm explaining a few things about this. So let's take a look at this controller right here. All right, so first off, on the left-hand side, we've got a D-pad. You know, before I even talk about the buttons or the features on this is not a controller. This is actually a mouse and keyboard that is just shaped like a controller. So when you plug this into a computer, it is detected literally as a mouse and keyboard. So all the buttons on here, they do mouse and keyboard things, mostly keyboard things. So if I'm pushing down on the controller here, it is not pushing down on a D-pad. This is pushing like a literal button on the keyboard, like up, down, left, right, like probably one of these buttons right here. So when I push down on this, it is like I'm pushing down on the keyboard because this is a keyboard not a controller. That's the first thing that you really have to understand about this. Secondly, you can currently buy these, I believe, like they have a shop set up. So if you're watching this and you're like, man, that thing looks cool, I think I want to get one for myself. I think that they do sell them, but you can also build them yourself because as you can see, this is 3D printed. All right, so over here we have a D-pad, and it's not a traditional D-pad because this particular D-pad is actually 4 different buttons. It is not connected, which means terrible for fighting games. This is not the kind of controller that you want to have if you are playing a game that is very D-pad heavy. There's lots of other controllers that you would use in that case. In this case, this is not very good for D-pad stuff. All right, over here we've got our 4 face buttons. You'll notice none of them are labeled, which I will complain about in a little bit. And they are all sitting on top of this little hexagon here. This hexagon is touch sensitive. That's why it's a slightly different color than everything else. When you are touching it with your thumb, it detects it as, it detects it the same way that capacitive joysticks on the Steam Deck would detect a touch from your thumb. And it also allows you to enable or disable the gyro. So if I've got my thumb touching that middle part, it enables the gyro. If I take my thumb away, it disables the gyro. Up on the top, we have our connection method, which is USB micro, the worst connection of any connector that is out there. We also have our 2 shoulder buttons, and we have our 2 trigger buttons. The thing that is very important about these particular trigger buttons is these are digital triggers. These are not actual triggers. They're not analog, and that's on purpose. They didn't do it because they were cheaping out. They did it because they wanted it to feel like a mouse. Like this is literally a mouse and keyboard, and that's the reason why they did it that way. We have our 4 like menu buttons right here in the middle. We've got some LEDs in the center as well that tell you what kind of modes you're in currently. We have a joystick, which is not bound to a gamepad joystick. This is literally bound to WASD most of the time. You can adjust these things, and I'll talk about that later as well. But this is literally WASD, okay? There's no right stick because most of your camera movements are based on using the gyro, so twisting the controller or tilting the controller. That's going to be how you would use the right stick. In place of the right stick, they have this, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-way. You have an 8-way hat switch here. All right, so basically you have 8 inputs. I can push up and to the left, and that's input number 1. Input number 2 is up into the middle. Input number 3 is up and to the right, and so on. So you could use this as like a weapon selector. So if I had like 1 through 8 on my hotbar for, I don't know, Minecraft or some game like that, and I wanted to activate 1, I just push that in the correct direction and it activates it. Another way to select items is through the little scroll wheel that we have here, which is really nice. Works very, very well. Big fan of the scroll wheel. I wish more controllers would have scroll wheels, and I don't like the placement of this, so I'm going to talk about the placement later on, not right now. And then we have our big home button right here in the middle. In addition to all of those different inputs that that I was just talking about, you also have 2 gyroscopes inside this. One that is built to detect big movements, and one that is built to detect smaller movements. This is why I like this controller so much, because it allows you to really dial in, and it feels like a mouse. Like when you are using it in a shooter, it feels like a mouse, and it's really, really great. Jesus in chat says, I can feel the wrist pain from the gyro already. I don't think so. And the reason why is because of the 2 gyros, because it has 2 gyros, one to detect big movements and one to detect small movements, and they kind of worked together. In tandem in order to interpret your movements, it really does feel like you are using a mouse without having to have a table to put it on. And if you can I put this on the screen? Can. If you can use a mouse like this, you can do this just fine. And I think that that's something that a lot of people, I can understand this, like being skeptical of a controller like this, but I've used it quite a bit. And the gyro definitely does not cause problems for me. That's not to say that this is perfect, because there's a lot of things about this that I don't like, and we'll talk about what they've addressed in the 1.0 version of the controller in a second, and what they still have to do. How much is it? I have no idea how much it is. I don't even know if I could bring this up on screen. Nope, it's not showing. Where's Chrome? There we go. All right, so how much is it? Let me click on the shop button here. And if you want to buy one, okay, I don't know what currency this is. All right, this is the 1.0 DIY kit configurator pre-order. Okay, so you're not actually buying it yet. And it's 196. Is that euros? I can't tell if that's euros. Like, that doesn't say. Or I mean, I just don't know the symbol. Maybe one of you guys knows what that symbol right there means. But let me go back to... Uh-oh. Why did my camera shut off? Oh, it overheated. 1 second. Damn it. There we go. I forgot to put my little fan on the back of my camera. That's why it just shut off like that. Anyway, back to chat. So Nith in chat is saying it's 220 US dollars. That is the euro. That's what I thought, but I wasn't positive if that was the symbol. All right, back to what I was talking about, though. Well, as far as the price being more than people would want to pay for it, I can understand that. I don't think that there's much that they can really do on the price, because they're not mass manufacturing these controllers, and so it costs a lot to make each one of them. If they got big enough, then they might be able to mass manufacture these, maybe no longer 3D print and instead do injection molding and that kind of thing, which would fix a lot of the things about it that I'm not really a fan of. But that would require them either getting a big influx of cash or getting acquired in some way by another company. And I like that they're kind of this small, independent, scrappy thing. Yeah, so as Michael is saying in chat, it's a two-man operation. I didn't realize it was only two guys. But I've been talking to Marcos from the company, and they're very, very passionate about what they're doing. Oh, it is really coming down out there right now. All right, where was I? Oh, okay, let's move on to the version 1, because this was like, this is like a super beta prototype thing, okay? So I'm going to set that right there. Move my keyboard out of the way. Let's grab version 1.0, which they sent to me, I don't know, I'm going to say maybe like 2 months ago or maybe 1 month ago. I can't quite remember. It's been sitting on my desk for quite a while. I've been messing around with it, and I like it. There's some definite improvements. So looking at them side by side, you might look at them and think, well, okay, there is nothing different about them. But look right here. That 8-way hat switch was replaced by a second, I'm going to use quotes here, joystick. It's a joystick. It's a very, very small joystick. Like, I'm going to show you the size of that. This one looks like it's about the size of a golf tee if you're a golfer. Look at how tiny this little guy is. And we compare that to this. You can't even see the 8-way switch. I think that the feedback that they were getting from people was that the 8-way switch, not super useful. And I never really liked it. So they replaced it with a second joystick. And I do like this a lot better. So you can use this as a more traditional controller now. And because of the software, you have a lot more options than you did before, which we'll talk about in a second. But let's talk about what's different hardware-wise. So first off, we've got the different joystick, like I said before, getting rid of the 8-way switch. Secondly, it's USB-C, which is so much better than USB micro. I absolutely hated having USB micro on this. USB-C is so much better. The second thing about this that is different is the original is a wired only controller, and the new one is now wireless. And the wireless connection is really, really low latency. I think Marcos told me it was like less than 2 milliseconds. I couldn't feel it. It just felt like I was using a mouse. And at full disclosure, most of the time I use a wireless mouse anyway. So maybe I'm just used to that amount of latency. But that's it for hardware that's different about this. Let's talk about the software. But if no other changes were made other than those three things, I would say that this is miles better than this anyway. But let's take a look at the software now. In order to look at the software, I've got my Asus ROG Z Flow 13. This is the Strix Halo. What's the word that I'm looking at? Tablet, which I'm going to set up here, and I'll put it back on screen so that you guys can see it. All right. Just making sure I'm not on screen for this. All right. Let's put it back on there now. All right. And the first thing I'm going to do is let's go ahead and turn this on. And okay, so first off, I have a complaint. These LEDs are insanely bright. They are ridiculously bright. Now, when you're looking at them like an angle like this, they don't really cause any problems. But when they hit you like right in the eyes, like I'm pointing this, I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to point this right at the camera. See how bright those are? That's ridiculous. There's no reason for them to be that bright. Now, it looks like this one is trying to pair. It was already paired with this little dongle here, but it looks like it's not pairing, and I don't remember how to pair it, so I'm going to have to look that up. Michael is saying 100%. 100% what? 100% that the LEDs are too bright? Is that what you mean? Let me look up how to pair it. I don't remember. Manual. Click pair wireless. Here we go. No need for manual pairing of the dongle and controller. They're always paired. Ooh. Then why is it blinking like that? Why is it blinking like that? Let me try. Uh-oh. We got a problem here. This is not connecting. So if I bring this up, nope, that's the wrong button. There we go. It says, okay, the controller can be turned off by home and start for 2 seconds. Let's try that. Okay, so it's off now. And then it says no need for manual pairing. Where did it say? In the current, yeah, here we go. In the current version, the firmware, there's no need for manual pairing of the dongle and controller. They are always paired. Unfortunately, this also means that communication is not encrypted. Please be aware of this when using your controller to type passwords or work. Okay, that's fair enough. The dongle LED turns on while running normally and able to receive connections. And as you can see, my dongle LED is on. So it looks like that's running. Then it says, turns off if there's no connection or cannot receive data. Okay. Okay, so there's a reset button on here. But that's on the old one, I think, and I don't see that button on here. Replug. I mean, yeah, I could unplug it and plug it back in. Let's try that, I guess. Okay, I just heard it disconnect. I heard the little Windows disconnect sound. I'm going to plug it back in. The light is lit up. So I should be all set. It's flashing at me again. This has never happened to it. It has worked flawlessly. The reset is in the same place. I don't see a button. Let me turn it back off. These lights are flashing at me. It makes it hard to see. I'm not seeing a button in here. Yeah, I don't see a button on there. Unless I'm missing something. I don't have Bazite installed on this. Yeah, maybe I'll reboot. Let's reboot the computer and see what happens. Restart. Anonymous says, no touchpad kind of hurts my feels. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to talk about later on in the video or in the stream. Can you guys hear the music okay, by the way? I'm currently playing music from Epidemic Sound, which I have a subscription to so I can use it in my videos. And I'm curious if you guys can even hear it or if I need to turn it up a little bit. You can hear it okay. Let me grab something. All right. Rebooted Windows. Music is at a nice background level. That is what I want to hear. Riva Tuner. No, I do not want to update Riva Tuner. All right. So let's see if we got this fixed. Every time I do a live stream, something breaks, and I can never figure out what it is that is going to break. Okay, I'm gonna try the reset button. Let me turn that back off. Oh, Justin Gray, that's awesome to hear. Glad to hear that you're thinking of doing your own show, man. That's always awesome to hear that other people watched what I did and they said, you know what? I could do that. I mean, Hell, that's how I started doing this stuff. I was watching somebody else, and I said, you know what? I could do that. I mean, if I can figure it out, any idiot can figure it out. Because I'm an idiot. I did try changing the profile, Michael. That didn't do anything. It just kept flashing. I don't see a button in here. Okay, this is going to be insanity for a second. I'm going to turn up the brightness on my and put that in focus mode. Do not disturb. There we go. All right. I'm going to turn up the brightness on my light so that I can see in here, but it's going to blow everything out for just a second. All right, so... Woof. Okay. Moving the mic away. Oh. Yeah, there's no button in there. I am not feeling a button at all. All I did was just turn it on. I think I must have hit the button with my, like this button with my finger. Like the button that they show is not there. Let me get something even thinner. Actually, let me look on the blue one. Yeah, I'm not seeing a button there either. Guys, I am at a complete loss. Did I connect it to the control app via USB? I'm using this little dongle. And I've tried changing the profile. It just keeps blinking at me. Let me try launching a game. 1 second. Let me see if I can launch a game and see if that fixes anything. So I'll go to library. What do I have installed on here? Do I have Oblivion installed on here? I have Oblivion installed on here. That's the only, yeah, a different USB port might work, but that's the only USB-A port that I have on this particular device. Let me turn this down. I don't need the volume on. Oh, it is working. Why is it flashing then? Yeah, it is working. So why is it flashing like this? I just assumed that it wasn't connected. So that's really strange. Let me put these tools away then, because I don't need those. Yeah, because as you can see, mouse is moving just fine. It's the party profile. Nice. Okay, well, you know what? Let me kill this game. I don't actually want to play a game yet. What is this laptop? This is the ROG Flow Z13. It is the Strix Halo laptop, essentially, and it is very, very powerful. I would really like to see the Strix Halo chipset end up in a handheld at some point. All right, so next, let's check out the website that they use to... I want to show you guys the software that they have. I just got to find what the right link is. All right, I found it. All right, so I'm going to go to a website. Let me close this. I'm actually going to... I don't know what's going to show up on the screen, so I'm going to hide that temporarily. All right, so let's type in CTRL. There we go. And can I go full screen? I think that should be okay. Close this. All right. Oh, look at this. It says controller not found now. How to set up. Click add device. Add device. There we go. Dongle, connect. Okay, so it's now connected. And let's go to profiles. Dongle, no. Tools. Output tester. Oh, it's not implemented yet. Firmware update. Work in progress. Okay. Restart. All right, so now we are connected. It says dongle. I don't know why that's still flashing though. And let's go into profiles. All right. So if you look over here on the left-hand side, you see the little 4 dots, and then now here we have one of the 4 dots lit up, and now here we have 3 dots lit up. These are the different profiles that you can have set up for the controller, and you switch between them. Did my sound just get really weird just then? Because I was looking at OBS and it looked like it peaked for a second, but I'm not sure if it actually did. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Alpacka's at the top. Thank you. Let me just set this down. I'm getting a pop every couple of minutes. Why in the hell would I get a pop? Hey, Bob, what's up, man? There was a pop. And it's happening regularly? That's really strange. I don't know why it would do that. Nothing in my settings is weird. I'm going to keep an eye out for it, and I wonder if it's an OBS related issue, because I didn't sounds like radio frequency interference. I mean, I have a watch on. I'm surrounded by radio frequency interference. But I saw in OBS my audio spike, but I didn't see on my mixer my audio spike. So I'm wondering if it's an OBS issue or a mixer issue. It sounded like when you static shock yourself at your desk. You have a metal desk, Bob? Oh, hey there, Input Labs. How's it going? I'm just testing out your controller here. Anyway, let's get back to what I was talking about, and hopefully I don't get another big pop in the audio. Was it like really? Was it unpleasant? Did it hurt your ears to hear that pop? All right. So now that we've got it paired up, and I've switched from dongle to Alpakka over here, we can see we have all of these different options for setting up the controller based on how you want to play your games. Now, I know that they have a racing version. I cannot imagine that that would actually be good because it doesn't have analog triggers, and I can't imagine how that would even work. Like, I'm trying to look at the settings right here. Can I zoom in some more? All right, that's as zoomed as I get. So I'm trying to look on here. Okay, it needs to be calibrated. Okay, so let's go into calibration settings. Touch sensitivity, mouse sensitivity, thumbstick dead zone, advanced maybe? Long calibration. Okay, let's do that. It's in tools. Okay, tools. Logs and commands. Here we go, calibrate. All right, the gyroscopes, accelerometers, and thumbstick will be calibrated. Leave the controller on a flat surface and wait until the procedure is completed. So let me zoom out a little bit for all of you. Move this over if I can. All right, start. I'm gonna not touch the table while we're waiting. Oh, the pop happened again? I wasn't looking. So, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, my XLR cable died. I went to the local guitar store and bought a replacement XLR cable. And I'm wondering if I just spent too little. Like, I'm wondering if that's the thing that's causing the issue. Well, I mean, I know Bob is kind of intense about his audio and stuff, so if he says it's no big deal, then it's probably no big deal. Kind of wild that the app runs in a browser. Does that mean that it works on Linux? I believe it works on Linux. You would call it a click, not a pop. Okay. Oh, great. Input Labs says it's still blinking. That's bad. Is it done? Because it's just sitting there. Like it doesn't, like, I would assume that it would say it says it's done, but it's still blinking. Maybe. Okay. Reset to factory settings. Is that something I should do then? Since it's still blinking? By the way, look at what they did. They put my logo on the back. Isn't that awesome? Super nice of them. Try clicking restart. Okay. I wonder if it's because is it the controller coming too close to the microphone? It's causing that? Oh, hey, look at that. It's done. There we go. We got it fixed. Do I have the XLR running past any surge protectors or power adapters? probably like 1,000 of them. Yeah, turning it off and on again for the win. Absolutely. But it's exactly the same run, Bob, that I had before with my last XLR cable. I think I just bought a shitty XLR cable. So I might have to hop on Amazon and buy a nicer one instead, which sucks. Yeah. Well, hopefully it will be okay for this. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the settings for this thing. So now I'm in profiles. Hey, Michael, 90% of issues can be fixed with off and on. Yeah, I know. All right. So if we look at this, we have our different profiles. And as you can see right now, I am in the FPS Fusion tab, which has all of these settings on here. And you can completely reconfigure all of this stuff to as much as you want. So for instance, if I want to come down, I'm going to come to custom 4. Now, how do I get to custom 4? This is the thing I can never remember. So I'm going to try holding this and then down twice. Nope. Holding this and then left twice. Okay. So in order to switch between profiles, it's actually really easy. You just have to remember what each thing does. So if I want to go into FPS Fusion, I hold down the main button and I push up on the D-pad. And now it's got one dot on the top, which means I am in FPS Fusion mode. FPS Fusion mode is basically, you know, they're expecting that it's going to be detected like a mouse and keyboard. You can see that the face buttons are like T, R, V, and F over here. This is probably my biggest gripe with this controller, is that I cannot remember what the buttons are, and they're not labeled. So when I'm playing a game, I have a hard time remembering what does what. That can be solved by just practice. Tons of practice. That can also be solved by labeling things, but because this is customizable, they probably don't want to label things, because if they label things, then that kind of takes away the customizability, and that's kind of rough. All right. You can also go to Console Legacy. If I look at Console Legacy, it's got everything set up like regular ass buttons. Okay. So the top button is the Y button. It behaves the way you would expect most controllers to do. That is all 3 buttons on the bottom lit up. So I'm going to try to get there. There we go. So now it's Console Legacy. Now it's just going to act like just a straight up controller. So I'm going to minimize this for now. I'm going to open up Steam and I'm going to just launch a game. We'll go with something simple, like that doesn't need a... We'll go with Hades. Oh, that's not installed. Installed locally. Here we go. All right. So, of course, all I have are benchmark games on here. Let's go with Animal Well. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of that. The reason I'm going with Animal Well, this device, install, is because it's tiny. So I can install it like instantaneously. Styx says, I can never remember button combinations for mode switching. Yeah, so the options that you have, you can push the home button and then a direction. You can push the home button and double tap a direction, and you can push a home button and hold a direction. And that gives you like 12 different options essentially, which is really nice. Okay, so now that says play, I'm just gonna push the... Oh, I'm not in big picture mode, so I guess I'll tap it. Alan James says, I'm planning on printing one of those smooth bodies that's shared in the Discord. Yeah, I saw that. I think that those look really good. All right. So as you can see, this is just a regular controller now. Okay. You know what? I'm going to you know what I just realized? I want to install Iron Meat, because then I can show you the D-pad and you know how much I don't like the D-pad. And I get what they're going for, but no, I don't want to stream it. I don't want to stream it. This device, install. This is another small game. It's very good for testing D-pads. Whatever the site says, it's out of pre-orders. I'll buy one or two. Why am I looking down while playing? So I could see the screen. I need my screen to see what you guys are saying, so I can't put my screen up there. All right, let's try this now. Cancel. I want to play it local. If you guys have never played Iron Meat, it is a very, very cool Contra clone. Huge fan of it. Huge fan of this game. Lots of replayability. All right. Start game, 1 player, select level, forest, normal. All right, so let's give this a shot. Hold A to skip. All right. So I'm going to push down to duck. And then as I wiggle back and forth, you can see this is real bad for bad inputs. I mean, if I just sit there with my thumb on just the down button, wiggle, there's that freaking pop again. And we'll just wiggle it back and forth. You can see nothing's going to happen. But it's kind of hard to hit both of these at the same time. Like, it's just not, it's not super, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't feel great. I'm not a fan of it. I can't see what I'm doing. This, ergonomics, I would definitely want to talk about later on. I definitely have complaints about the ergonomics of it. But as you can see, it just works like a regular ass controller, which is a huge step up over the original one. The original one was only ever a mouse and keyboard. Let me exit. The original one was only ever a mouse and keyboard, and it just never, at least I never played it with updates that made it feel like a regular controller or made it act like a regular controller. This one, because of their new software, acts like just a regular controller. Okay, so the next thing that I want to take a look at is, we'll go with custom. So I'm going to go custom 4, and as you can see, it's completely blank. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And so let's say that I'm setting up my own system. I could copy from a profile. So maybe I have one that's kind of close to what I want. Like I can copy the FPS Fusion in here and then I can start tweaking it. This is really, really cool. Especially the fact that it's just done through a web app is impressive. But let's say that I don't want these buttons to be T, R, V, and F. I want them to be A, B, X, Y, like on a controller. I can tap on this, and then on button press what? I can tap on that, and now I have all of these options. I'm gonna say, you know what? I don't remember which one it was. Close. Okay, so that's the wrong one because that should have been on my Y button. So I'm gonna get rid of key. Okay, here we go. Add action, Y, close. I'm gonna go reload, or X. I'm gonna get rid of that. X, close. Uh-oh, what's going on here? It's frozen. Do I have to refresh the page? I think Chrome died. Guys, I'm not having a good time right now. Nothing is working. I just spent like forever getting it to stop flashing at me, and now I can't do what I want. Okay. I think Chrome crashed. Feels like a Monday? Yeah, it does feel like a Monday. Let me do this. I'm going to try shutting off. Oh, Windows. Yeah, Windows is completely Control Alt Delete. Why not use the Brave browser other than Chrome? I've never used the Brave browser, so it never would have occurred to me. Ah, here we go. Task Manager. Okay, I think I finally killed Chrome. Let me try opening it back up again. All right, where was I? I was on this page right here. All right. So as I was doing this, okay, so I've got my Y and my X set. Now I got to set my B button. We're going to say B, close, get rid of V. And so you can go through and set this for whatever game you're playing, which makes it really, really easy. Bob wants to know if this is a GP2040. And Input Labs says it's our own open source firmware. Okay. I don't know what a GP2040 is. If you want to educate me, let me know. Okay, so now that's set as just regular ass buttons. So let's say that I didn't want to do it like that. Maybe I want to base it off just like console legacy and then add gyro to something. So I can go into custom 4 and I'm going to copy from console. So if I look at this, that the D-pad looks like it's regular D-pad stuff. Now look at that. That's okay. Let's try console legacy instead. Select a profile, console legacy. Okay, here we go. Now it's set up just like a regular console, but now I need to add in gyro support. So I'm going to go into here. Mode is touch on. So that means that whenever I am touching this part of the controller, gyro will be on. And engage surface button would be the hexagon surface. So now it's not working. Add axis rotation negative. Okay. Trying to find add axis rotation negative. That's not going to work because it's a prototype. Oh, sugar. under mouse, you have directions. Now I can't click on it again. Gyro, okay. On axis rotation, negative. Move the mouse down, I guess. In this prototype, the touch surface selection is broken. Sorry. It worked when I was using it as a... It worked when I'm just in FPS Fusion mode. Like, it works just fine. You see? And then I take my thumb off. What do you mean it's broken? Oh, God. Yeah, whatever. Oh, you can't change it. Okay. So what if I want to just copy? Okay. Okay, so I like what you guys have done here. I really like what Input Labs has done here, but it's very confusing. There's just so many options. It needs some kind of... It needs to be simplified for the average user to really use this. Yeah, I went straight to the one thing that doesn't work. This whole stream has been things that don't work, but most of it's me. But yeah, I feel like this is just very confusing. Okay, so if I click on that, okay, gyro axis X, on mouse rotation negative, mouse X negative. Okay, so X negative. Okay, so if I go back down to my custom 4 and I click on this, okay, add actions, X negative. I'm looking for mouse X negative. Maybe that? Mouse X. That's not the same thing that it's set up here. On here, it says mouse... Damn it. It says mouse X neg. If I go to custom 4... maybe that's mouse X neg? Okay, I found it. I think Steam Input's a little easier to deal with, but I've also been using Steam Input a lot longer than this, and so that could be it. All right, so now... Wait. So now on axis rotation positive, add actions, that, close, Y, this, negative I'm guessing would be down, no, up. Mouse Y negative. Down would be mouse Y. Let's see if that matches what's over here in FPS Fusion. So X minus, X plus, Y minus, Y plus. See, that looks different. So I'm doing something wrong. Maybe it's because I haven't done Z yet. Let's go up to there. FPS Fusion. No, they don't even have Z on there. They just have, oh, a label. Okay, yeah. So if I added a label, I don't know, stuff. Oh, okay, I see. So if I go up here, it says mouse and mouse. Okay. So on here, I won't type stuff. I'll say horizontal. And then this would be vertical. No, this is also horizontal. Yeah, there we go. That makes sense. All right. So now is there a button to apply? Oh, it's not going to do anything. So you can't do customs. So the custom 1 through 4 does not work at all. That I understand now. It is applied, but I can't use it because I can't do that. No. Oh, yeah, I'm on the wrong one. Yeah, it doesn't work because I'm unable to, on custom, it looks like I can't turn on the touchpad. So I'm stuck using one of these ones. But in one of these ones, I can still change everything if I want. It works if you copy a profile that has it set up already. It is very interesting. Here, let's I'm going to put it in FPS Fusion mode. I'm going to load up a first-person shooter and show you how it works in the worst way possible, because I've got to, you know, I don't have a good place for my hands. Maybe if I get this keyboard out of the way. We'll hide that. And let's load up a first-person style game. What do I have that's installed locally? All right. I guess Oblivion. And I should probably zoom out a little bit. And we will yank this keyboard off because I don't need it. Yeah, look at how awesome that mouse moves around. I'm going to slide this up. It's as flat as it gets. Get my keyboard out of the way. Yeah, it's a Flow Z13, yes. Oh, it's not working, probably because this game is expecting that I am going to be using, I want to set it up to okay, that's working. Oh, it's not working at all. It's a 3D printed controller, Steven. Now the mic is cutting out? Shit. Yeah, I don't remember what the profiles are. I gotta look. FPS WASD, which is press and hold. There we go. No, that's not working either. What am I doing wrong here? You guys can't hear me? Oh, Patrick DeWall is saying the mic is fine. Hey, from the US, Mark. Let me try. If the game does not support mouse and game in parallel, change to the next profile FPS WASD. That's three buttons lit up on the top, which is exactly what I have. Well, my normal mouse is hooked up to my Mac. This is not hooked up to this at all. But look, when I hit pause, it brings up my mouse and it moves just fine. Maybe I got to try a different game then. Oh, Gyro's not set up in this mode. Let's go console. And it has gyro. Let's try that one. Let's try spinning. That's a neat trick. Nope. All right. Well, let's try a different game then. Now it's not working at all. Yeah, I'm thinking it's the game. Just a second. Let me shut this game off. Yeah, I'm going to try a different game. I just don't have any installed that are at first-person games other than Oblivion. I figured I could just use that. We'll go with... Trying to see what's a smaller game that I can install. Well, regardless what the issue is, it's annoying. I'm trying to find a game to install. How big is this game? No. Is this installed? Nope. Trying to think of Titanfall 2. Maybe that one's small. I could scroll all friggin' day. Portal 1, there you go. Yeah, that's small. We can install that. I didn't have to worry about it being... I don't think Portal 1 is free, but it is small. It's installing right now. What questions do you guys have that I probably can't answer? Oh, Input Labs is saying reset my profiles to factory. Sure, I might as well. I might have messed something up. So if I go, let's see if I can do this. So I got to reset my profiles to factory. Settings. Advanced? No. Tools. Reset to factory settings. Why not? Let's just do it. Reset to factory. Because I might have screwed something up with this. And it's blinking. How do I tell when it's done? Would it say done? Like, would it say done on the bottom here? Have I tried it on fighting games like Street Fighter 6? How does it feel? I would never play a game like that on a controller like this because the D-pad is actually 4 separate buttons. And it wouldn't feel right, I don't think. Now I have to calibrate again. Okay, I'm going to calibrate. Start. I will say, like, if you can, on this little readout that's giving me all this information, have it say done when it's done. I'm assuming that that's all good. Now I'm going to restart it. Restart. Okay. Checksum failure, comma, mode 0. Uh-oh. What's that mean? Let's see if Portal's done installing yet. It is. We'll hit play. Get rid of this keyboard out of my way. All right, mouse is moving okay. Could they make the text just a little bit smaller? New game. Start new game. Oh, okay. Oh, it's probably giving me like commands like, hey, look this way, look that way. But I can't hear it. Oh, it's telling me to move. Okay, I'm moving. I moved. Space to jump. All right. The jump button is currently bound to this right here. Am I supposed to do something? Oh, okay. There we go. I should have loaded up a little bit later on. I will say that I'm currently using this in the worst way possible because it's sitting on a desk and I don't have as much freedom of movement as I would if I was sitting on a couch over there. E to pick up. I don't know which one is E. I have to check. This is the problem that I really struggle with, is it tells me to push a button and I don't know what that button is. And it's because this is a keyboard. And so it's giving me keyboard commands, but I don't remember where it is. So I have to go looking So I'll go to profiles. I'm currently on FPS Fusion. I got to look around to see where the E button is. The E button looks like it's the right bumper. Oops. Oh, okay. I had to... Bill, you have a question? I'm disabled and I use Steam Input to help me do QTE with turbo mode, but I'm struggling when I have to do a spin joystick 360 really fast. Do you know how to do that? No. No, I don't know how to do that. I would have to think about it. If I come up with a way to do that, I might make a video about it because that is a useful thing. Yes, universal button prompts would make everything 1,000 times better. And this is like my main problem with this controller is not something that Input Labs can actually do anything about. Sensitivity seems super high. Well, let me check the sensitivity. I mean, the mouse moves fine, but I'll go into options. Oh, could this be smaller? Good God. All right, how's this? All right, that's too low of a sensitivity. I got to change it again. You think Steam Input now has a 180-degree stick rotate? Does it? I know that it has a camera spin button, but I don't know that that's the same thing. Oh, okay, it's timed. So I just gotta wait for it to open. Wait, I need a what are one of those things called? I need a companion cube. Is there a companion cube? Oh, it's over there. So I gotta wait for that room to open up. There we go. Oh. Fortunately, this device is purely hardware, as any random mouse, for example, so I cannot display overlays in games. Yes, this cannot display overlays in games. That's something that you would do through Steam Input, but using this and Steam Input together, I think would probably be way more confusing. Okay, so I just gotta wait until I see that. In my opinion, the best of both worlds would be if Valve could just pay these guys. Just pay these guys to work for them. That way we wouldn't have to have 3D printed stuff. It wouldn't just be two guys working on a thing. It would be, you know, they would have the backing of some serious financials. Not there yet. Just waiting. I should have loaded a save that's further down the road. That's still not what I want. Maybe I have to wait until... There we go. That's what I wanted. Because the thing that this controller has that none of the other controllers have is dual gyro. Now, what I will say is if I'm going to load this into straight up controller mode, I will wait until I'm not on the elevator anymore. Oh, look at that. It lost connection. Still working though. Oh, but it's working weird. What is the dual gyro? So they have two gyroscopes in this. Actually, here, I'll show you something real quick. Let me bring this up so I can explain it better. Let's see, overview. And then this, here we go. All right, so it says here the Alpakka controller is Input Lab's main reference design, a reinterpretation of the classic gamepad. It has advanced gyro controls with the performance of a mouse and convenience of a controller. And I would agree with that, absolutely. So if we take a look over here, it says next gen gyro, engineered for gyro with no compromises. Every aspect of this controller is tuned for having pixel perfect accuracy, ultra low latency, and no acceleration nor smoothing. It has two gyro sensors that work in parallel, so that means at the same time. And the hexagonal touch sensitive surface, that's the, where is my camera? That's this right here. Okay. The hexagonal touch sensitive surface surrounding ABXY buttons, they finally cracked the code for gyro as primary input. Now, I would say that gyro on this controller feels better than on any other controller that I have ever used. That being said, I still think that this would be better with a second stick. Now, they do have a second stick here. You know what? I have to reset this. So if I go to Tools, Restart. It's not working. Because I wanted to switch profiles and try it. Let me hit Calibrate. Start. We'll wait. How long does the battery last with this version? Oh, a low battery. That would make sense. Damn it. Well, this stream has been an absolute failure on my part. Ah, there we go. Oh, look at that. Warning, user requested to ignore problems. All right. So let me go back to profiles. All right. I'm going to switch over to just straight up console, which is the down one. Okay. Now let's go back into the game. And it has a second stick, but the second stick is not working. Now, this might be because the game was already running in whatever mode this is. So I'm going to quit. Don't save. I'll just load a different save later. Input Lab says that the battery lasts for about 10 hours. I'm now at about 1 hour of battery. Okay, that's good to know. All right, so if I go back in here, I'm going to switch this back over to just controller mode. Oh, look at that. Or is that controller mode? Console mode. Looks like it. Okay. Mouse is still working. I want console legacy for the second stick. Okay. That's 3 down. All right, we'll go with load game. I'm going to load later in the thing. There we go. All right, so now I have a second stick. Now, the first thing that I tried, actually, this might actually work. So Ambernick sent me this, right? And as they always do, they also sent me some stupid stick caps. I'm going to try one of these stick caps on there. Nope, that's not going to work. Damn it. But now it just feels like a regular ass controller, with the exception that it has this scroll wheel here. Now, here's what I would do. I would take this scroll wheel and I would move it. I would move it to be over here so that if I want to hit the scroll wheel, I can just lift this part of my thumb and hit the scroll wheel with this part of my thumb right here. And then I could easily move this back and forth like that to use the weapon wheel, and then take this second stick and make it bigger. All right, can I push this button? Oh, look at that. So this button spins you around to face behind you in this mode. In this mode, it is the use button. So it would be a side scroll and not up and down. Well, I mean, it would still scroll up and down. It would just be, I would be moving it sideways, but it would still scroll. It's just taking the same exact scroll wheel and just turning it sideways and putting it over here. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it makes sense to me. Okay, so where's this shooting from? There's one from, can I shoot? Okay, I can make portals. There's one that goes there. And then where else do I want this portal to go? Or the little energy ball to go? I'm not sure where it's supposed to end up. That's releasing them. Where's the little ball supposed to end up? Let me go. Oh, I see. It's supposed to end up over here. How do I open that? Probably got to go through here. Maybe over there? I cannot remember. It's been so long. Hey, Emilio. How's it going? This is the controller I didn't know I needed. How much is it? This is $220-ish. It's currently in euros, but like you can convert it over to whatever currency you use. And I think it's still, like, this is a prototype. On the right, I have to jump to the portal at the bottom. Oh, okay. Oh, to fly. Oop. I did not mean to do that. Oh. There we go. So let's go back up. Okay. And then what do I got to fly across? PAX went really well. I did not tear my meniscus this time, so that's good news. Let's put that there. I'm just going to jump off. Oh, I missed. And I didn't make it. Now I'm dead. Okay, so we're back in here again. I don't really get why I come in here. Because it's been years since am I supposed to go that way? I think I've already solved the puzzle in that room. That's why I'm in here. Kept telling Bob to look at this controller when he started getting into electronics and 3D printing, but he kept ignoring me. Well, I mean, he's got a lot of people vying for his attention. People send me messages all the time, and I'm nowhere near as big as Bob, so people just don't have time to listen to everybody that sends them a message. Yeah, the controller has back buttons, so there's a button right here and there's a button right here. As far as like the shell being 3D printed and having all these angles on there, that part I really don't like. I wouldn't say that it's inherently uncomfortable, but there's definitely pointy stuff that I don't like, especially like right here at the edge of this pad. I would really like this to be round instead of a hexagon. But I get that this is like kind of like their design language or anything or something. All right, so if I go over here, where can I? Oh, I think I just died. Yep, I died. It is a very unusually shaped controller. I came from this way. Oh, okay. So I don't need to go back in there. So I needed to go through here. Okay. So I need to end up over there somehow. But as you can see, like, you really don't need the second stick. I do prefer to use the second stick for flick stick, but you can do a lot with just this controller. I know there's a community mods for the first version, the controller that rounded out the body. I'm pretty sure there'll be mods for this one too. I would assume that they would work exactly the same way. The only difference here is that there's a different joystick. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but using Steam input to map the back buttons to analog left-right camera in 3D platform is the best thing ever. Emilio, I don't think I understand what you mean. And are you talking about this particular controller? The scroll wheel is crazy. This game doesn't have a good example of this, like what the scroll wheel does. Don't save. Let me see if I can find a game that does. Like, I guess I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and install like a game-ass game. You know what I mean? Oh, I need my keyboard. What would be a good game for that? Titanfall? 63 gigs. Damn it. Oh, Half-Life. Yeah. Half-Life. There you go. Although Half-Life makes me sick to my stomach. I do not know why. It lets you turn the camera and jump and move at the same time. See, I So in order to do that, for me, most of the time, what I usually do is I will set the back buttons to be my jump, and then I can just keep my thumb on the stick so that I can control which way the camera is facing and still be able to jump. Yeah, that's why I'm switching over to Half-Life 2, because, you know, scroll wheel. That's how I ended up playing Astrobot. Astrobot is really, really great, and I have the DualSense Edge controller, so I was able to bind the jump button and the attack button to the back paddles on the DualSense Edge, and then I just never had to take my thumb off the right stick. A racing game? Well, while we're messing around with stuff, I may as well try installing a racing game. I don't have a lot of racing games. Dirt 3 Complete Edition. That's pretty small. We'll install that. We can try a racing game. I cannot imagine that this would be good for racing games. The wheel would be really good for weapon selectors, like in first-person shooters, which is really the thing that you use this kind of controller for, is mostly for shooters. I have a whole video where I talk about how you have different controllers for different game types. Nobody watched that video. Dirt is a great series. I usually just play GT7. While we're waiting, I just plugged in the controller so it would charge a little bit, because I got to install Half-Life and Dirt 3. You played some GT7 last night? That's awesome. I'm a huge fan of GT7. And I had never played a GT game before GT7. I'm just going to refresh this page real quick. There we go. And then I'm going to pause that because I don't need to see it. How's the audio been? Has it been continuing to be a problem with the pops from the possibly crappy XLR cable? I should definitely check out some of the older GT games. I don't know. GT7 seems like it's all I really need. That and Forza. Does the controller come with any proprietary software like a button mapper or just straight up X input? So, great question, Emilio Sanchez. Check this out. I'm going to go to Chrome. So, it actually uses a website. If you type in control.inputlabs.io/whatever, it brings you to this website, which then you can connect the controller to through this website, and you can do all of your button mapping here instead of through Steam Input. That said, I find this to be a little cumbersome, a little confusing, but if you used it all the time, you would eventually just get used to it. You know what I mean? So back to Steam while I'm installing Dirt 3 and Half-Life 2. Am I playing Forza Horizon or Motorsport? Well, they're both on Game Pass, so I can play either one of them. Oh, that's smart, Delvision. They used the Microsoft Edge to save the website to a PWA app on my desktop. Very cool. I do that at work with YouTube Music. so that I can be logged in and listen to music that I like. Audio pops have been a thing whole time. It's like every 5 to 10 minutes there's a pop or a click, but it's not that bad. It's not too bad that it hurts the ears. It's just a little annoying. Yeah, I'm going to have to replace this cord, I think, and see if it goes away. While this is installing, I'm going to go get some water. I will be right back. All right. Yeah, if I want more of a, I mean, I prefer Horizon to Motorsport, and I prefer Gran Turismo to both of them. All right, Dirt 3 is installed. We're waiting on Half-Life 2 to install, but that's okay. Let's put it in racing mode. So racing is 3 dots to the left. And now let's take a look at what racing mode actually looks like. So racing. Oh, no, I was looking at the wrong thing. Racing is 1 dot to the right. There we go. Okay. So where is acceleration? Trying to see how acceleration works on this. Steering is with gyro. What makes the car go? We'll find out in a second. This system is muted. Input labs. Oh, input labs. I mean, left thumbstick is to. Oh, okay. So you steer, and then you speed up and slow down with that. Okay. Let me look at brakes. How do I do brakes? Wipers. I assume it's just the opposite. I could not care less about racing. Like, I don't watch racing at all, but I really want to see the new F1 movie with Brad Pitt. That movie looks really good. Left stick also brakes. Okay. What's taking it so long to boot? Am I in turbo mode? Operation mode. Turbo. Oh, that's too bright now. Hang on. I don't know why the game isn't starting. Oh, it is starting. It's just, oh my God, look at this. Look at this ridiculousness. Why did it do this? Freaking Windows. All right, press start. Start a new game? I don't care. All right, here we go. I don't care about any of this stuff. Just continue. Continue. Sure, boys. Pat, sure. I don't care. Casual. Continue. No, maybe. Yes, sure. I don't care. Oh my God. I don't care. Yes, it is USB-C. All right. So, Alt Enter. There we go. I never use Windows, so I forget. Options. Let's figure this out. So graphics options. What is the native resolution of this? I can't remember. There we go. Aspect ratio, detail, sure, whatever. Choose preset. Automatic. Is there a button to go? Your changes will now be applied. Okay. Yes. All right. Dirt Tour. Single player. Time trial. I could not care less. Just go. Wait, Christian Bale's in... Oh, Ford versus Ferrari. Yeah. I haven't seen that. He's not in F1, is he? That's just Brad Pitt and then the young guy. All right, here we go. Let's see how this works. Race. I don't care. There we go. Okay. Trying to decide, is it... Okay, so it's tilt. It's tilt, not yaw and roll. I don't know how much assistance I'm getting in dirt, and my hands are in my way because of the way I'm playing. But this is actually better than I thought. Well, he says as he crashes. All right, let's back up. I just lost my door. I'm using tilt controls. That's right. It's not terrible. It really is not terrible. This is actually surprising to me. I mean, I've only played Dirt 3 for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. I think I'm being generous by saying 20 minutes or so. Because I just got it as some... Like, I think it was part of a Humble Bundle or something. So I have very little experience with this game. Yeah, it's more of a yaw action. Cockpit camera would help to see the steering. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Hold on, let's stop. How do I change camera? There, nope. Okay, stop. Let's just stop. Okay, so if you look, Tilting it this way does nothing. Tilting it this way does nothing. Tilting it this way. That's actually really interesting. Well, what do you guys think about this? This is actually kind of cool. It is very, very different. I let off on the gas. It's still going. Honestly, sick, it just works as Todd Howard says. Hold it back a bit. Like this. My gut instinct is that when I'm going downhill, my brain makes me want to tilt my controller down like this, even though I don't need to. Does that make sense? Whoa! I just hit the button. Yeah, so basically the way that it feels like is I just raise the side that I want to turn away from. Whoops. Flipped over. Love to hear my thoughts on the controller while using the Roku glasses. I mean, I don't know. Doesn't seem like something that I don't want to do all of that to, like, I don't want to have to put on the glasses, have a wire coming out, have it hooked up to this, have this, and then a dongle. It just seems like too much stuff. If it was all completely wireless, like if the glasses were wireless and this didn't have a dongle, then maybe I would try that. But that's interesting. The racing works better than I anticipated that it would. I have a roll cage. I'll be fine. All right, let's kill this game and try out Half-Life to show the weapon swaps. It's almost done installing. Um, 300 frames per second on the flow. I don't understand what you're saying there, D-Man Lewis. Now you want to play Dirt? I kind of want to play Dirt 2. Or, well, Dirt 3, apparently. Can you guys hear the fan of the ROG, of the laptop? Here, let me bring the microphone closer to it. Actually, it's portable. I'll bring it closer to the microphone. You guys hear that? You don't hear it? That's good. It's loud. It's not like a piercing sound, but it is loud. Oh, it's done. All right, let's put it in first-person fusion mode. We'll hit play. It's more audible when I speak. Oh, probably because I have a filter on my microphone which cuts out that sound when I'm not talking. Oh, look at that. I forgot that they had put all of them back into one thing. All right, so Half-Life 2. Oh, Half-Life 2, load game. See? I can scroll through. We don't go to Ravenholm, actually. Yeah, this is the Z13. Blah, blah, blah. That's okay. I don't mind answering more than once. It's not a big deal. But as you can see, it's like incredibly responsive. And you don't really feel like you have to have that second stick. I just think that with flick stick, this would be amazing. The combination of this and flick stick would be really, really good. Oh, weapon wheel. So you can see my weapon wheel right here. You want a Z13 so bad that's your dream computer? It is really good. I do not have the one that has, what was it, 128 gigs of RAM or some nonsense like that. It's crazy how much RAM is in one of these. There's some of these. Hey, Eli. What's up, man? So you can see I can easily swap between my weapons here. Whoops, I didn't mean to shoot. Let me try the... You can also swap between weapons using this. Kind of a holdover from when it was a an 8-way hat. Oh, Scott. Don't be embarrassed, but play it. It's really, really good. Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2 are some of the best games ever. The way her body language makes me feel like I'm getting scolded by somebody, like I did something wrong. All right, let me load a different part of the game. How do I turn on the flashlight? Whoops. Oh, I don't remember. All right, A turns on the flashlight. Hold on. Sorry, I should have muted the mic first. Oh my God. I don't even think you can get Orange Box anymore, can you? And I have to say, when you guys see me playing it like this, I have a huge disadvantage. My hands are in my way because for my angle, the camera, like this is what the screen looks like to me, is with this controller in my way. I also have my microphone in the way, and I have this table underneath my hands. This is like the worst possible way to showcase this controller because this is meant to be played like from a couch, and it's just so good on a couch. Like look at how fast I can turn and zero in on things. I don't remember where I'm supposed to go here. Yeah, on your lap is really good. Let's load a different save. One where I know where I'm supposed to be. We'll go with not water hazard. Maybe root canal? Oops, I just backed up. Yeah, the video that I did about the first one kind of took off, which is why they sent me the second one, or the 1.0 version, I guess. Which is still a whoa. Is this emulating keyboard and mouse? Yes, this is literally a keyboard and mouse. But I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Oh, hold on. Let me get out my crowbar. Can they get through? Maybe there's another way? Maybe I'm supposed to shoot them. I don't think I am. Maybe there's another way through. Compared to the first Steam controller, how does it feel? It feels incredibly different. The Steam controller has the trackpads, you know what I mean? So you're doing a lot of swiping your thumb around while you play. This, my thumb kind of just stays in place in the middle. Oh, where are you? Does my thumb hurt after a while holding it on the hexagon? I have a tendency to kind of put my thumb right there and hold it there. But if I just have my thumb sitting on top of the 4 buttons, it still works. Like, you don't actually have to be touching in the middle like that, because your thumb naturally will, even if I have my thumb on here, it doesn't work. But if I just put my thumb so that it's resting, you guys can't see it. It just kind of rests between them. Did they add USB-C? Yes, they did add USB-C. Thank goodness. Micro USB is, you know, a pox. It should not be existing. Where is the most weight on the controller? I loved how Steam controller had the batteries in the handles, which gave the most weight in my hands. The battery is right here in the middle on this. It's a very, very light controller, though. How does the tiny right stick feel? Not great. I said earlier in the stream that they should take this scroll wheel, move it over here, so that I could easily hit it with this part of my thumb, and then put a second stick right here. All right, I got to find some other way to get through here. I think I'm in the wrong area. Oh. So that's through there. How do I get through there? Am I supposed to go up? No problem, Mark. Is it weird? Whoop. Oh. Is it weird that I like the way you specifically say the word Steam? How else would you say it? Okay, guys, I haven't played Half-Life 2 in a million years. Does anybody remember? I gotta find a spot that's worth showing. It's not too light. I don't know how much it weighs off the top of my head. I wonder if it says so on their website. Let's take a look at the weight. See if it says anything on there. I'm not seeing anything on the website about how much it weighs, so I don't have an answer for you. Yeah, this is a dongle. It's a very low latency. They say it's like 2 milliseconds or something. Like here, you guys can see the latency. Keeping in mind that this camera is shooting at 30 frames per second, as is this one, or 29.97. All right, I don't know how to duck. Let me figure out how to duck. Oops, I just fired a grenade. Ah, there we go. Now we're ducking. Do the sticks click? Yes. They do, but I don't think they're bound to anything in this mode. Input Lab says the reference design weighs 202 grams with a battery. So that must be this one. So 200 grams. You compare that. We can compare that to, I don't know, very common controller. Xbox controller weight. An Xbox controller, typically, if Google's AI bullshit is to be believed, is 275 grams with batteries. And we just had that stupid peak again. Well, I can't see you guys. Yeah, it's, I mean, pretty comparable. A little bit lighter than an Xbox controller. Get out. I caused explosions. What first got me into YouTube? I I was doing a podcast and I decided to put the podcast on YouTube. How long will the live stream go on? Until I get sick of it. Oh. Come on, reload. Steam Deck when I go traveling. That's too funny. Some people mod Hall effect sticks into it. Into this? Seems like a lot of work. Oh. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm surrounded. All right, what do I have for weapons? I got the gravity gun. Is there something I can pick up? I need something to pick up. The thing is like I feel so much more accurate on this than I do with a mouse and with a regular controller. Like this is just so much easier to get the aim right. You know what I mean? Feel like a controller like this should have a little game released alongside as a tech demo of the controls to show the consumer how they can be creative with it. The Steam Deck game did well. Oh yeah, Aperture Desk Job, really great game. Zoom in a little bit more. All right, so now I just got to find where I can turn off that electricity. Maybe I'm supposed to go up there. No, I got to go inside that building somehow. I do not remember how. Let me switch to my gravity gun. Maybe if I pull this body off of here? Nope. If I touch that, it's going to kill me. See you later, Mark. Thanks for swinging by. Yeah, I don't know how to solder, so they sent me one because they reached out and they were like, hey, you want one of these? And I was like, yeah, but I'm not soldering anything, dude. And so, oh, there's something to use. So they ended up just building this for me, which was really nice of them because I don't own a soldering gun. I've never soldered a thing in my entire life. What do we got over here? Okay. Does it turn off the fire? Oh. I gotta switch weapons. Gravity gun. Yeah, Patrick, the thing is this is made by like two guys. They cannot possibly make them for people. Like this is a true like startup kind of thing. So it's going to be expensive because they can't make tons of them. If they could make lots of them, then the more you make, the cheaper it is to make each individual one. But because they're, you know, just a couple of guys trying their hands at building their own controller, it's going to be really expensive. And that makes sense that it's really expensive. Let me get my gravity gun. I'll grab this. Wonder if I can cut the power using this. Yeah, economies of scale, exactly. All right, can I cut the wire? Nope. And I just lost my only gravity thing. Damn it. One problem is that this is I'm playing in like such a dark area. Here, I can get off the boat now. How do I get off the boat? There we go. There, now I'm off the boat and it's daytime, so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Look at the latency. Test. Huh. Just got that stupid pop again. I don't know if the hardware's, I don't like the way that the controller feels overall. I like what's inside the controller a lot. One thing that I would change is I would get shot by a helicopter. I don't know if I have anything to shoot at the helicopter with. Can I use a freaking... Oh, I think my battery just died. My battery just died. I need to plug it back in. All right, let's just kill this. There we go. What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. Yeah, the gyro is ridiculously smooth. I think that this is probably the best gyro implementation that's out there. Oh, the thing that I was going to say. Here, I'll use this one as an example. I would make these 4 buttons be touch sensitive in addition to the pad being touch sensitive, so that if my thumb is sitting on a button, it still is able to do something and I can still push the button to have it go. The other thing that I think that I would change about it, like I said, I would move the what's this thing? Scroll wheel over here and give a second stick for flick stick. But other than, and I would make it less angular and pointy. But other than that, I don't think there's very much that I would change about that controller. Yeah, this is the black and blue one that they sent me. This is their first prototype, I think. And it does look really nice. But I am very partial to this one for very good reason. Because they 3D printed my logo into the body of the controller. How cool is that? Don Nicholson, it did just come out of a 3D printer. Cosmo has a weird question. Why? Why what? The tiny stick on the right does not feel good, in my opinion. I'm not a fan. This tiny little stick... here, let me get this computer out of the way. That's not turning off. There we go. Turn that off. I'm trying to shut this computer off. I cannot figure it out. I hate Windows. Maybe I'll just do this. There we go. So now I can just put this on the screen. So this stick is just so small. This is roughly the size of a golf tee. I would like 2 of these, and actually I would like this to have like a thumbstick cap so it feels soft instead of 3D printed. Oh, Blue Broham wants to order the one with the 3D printed NerdNest on the back. I don't think that they do that, man. But that would be cool. I think that 3D printing is fine. I would prefer injection molding. Cosmo says, is this a proof of concept project? I mean, if you check out their website, they tell you all about what their goals are. They also have another project coming that I could show you guys. This is kind of cool. They have this is called Capybara. If you click on it, it is a one-handed controller, which is going to be really good for people with disabilities, I think. And it says that it's a second reference design used for the single hand and more focused in disability use cases, yet it has the same advanced gyro controls as the Alpakka. So you could just use it with one hand, which is very, very interesting. I'm very intrigued how this is going to work. I don't need it, but for everybody that does, I love that they are working on it. They also have Maramota, which is this. Where is my camera? This little dongle right here. All right. Yeah, you can see like how they're working on it. Very true. Can be perfect coming out of a 3D printer, but I agree smoothing out would be better. You know, okay, so there's a guy who I work with who was 3D printing some stuff, and he said it was kind of a pain in the ass to use, but he 3D printed something that was very rubbery feeling. And if you guys can print the sticks out of that, that would be awesome. It was very rubbery feeling. It felt like hard rubber instead of plastic. What does the dongle do? It's just so that you can connect wirelessly. But they do talk about it on their website. They give more information. Emilio Sanchez, I wonder if you would be able to buy a left-handed one and a right-handed one and then be able to use both of them at the same time. That would be kind of cool. You can print the sticks in TPU, rubber, or you can print them in plastic and spray them with Plastidip. Plastidip? I'm learning all kinds of stuff now. Yeah, the thumbstick caps work on the left one. Here, I'll try. So I have some thumbstick caps here. They were sent to me by Ambernick. And I'll put one of these. That one looks a little bit small. Let me see if I can fit it on there. I think these are a little bit small for this, but that's not surprising because these are made for this thing. It has little tiny itty bitty thumbsticks. I can't squeeze this onto here. Almost. I can almost get it on there. I think with enough work, if I really cared, I could make it happen. But I don't. All right. What do you guys think about this controller? I may make a video about this, but this might be the only time that it might be a while before I do. If I do, I'll just include. There's that frickin' pop again. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. Thank you for hanging out with me. I will see you guys next time. Stay rad, everybody. Bye-bye.